Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us for One Thing I Wish You Knew. I'm Brooke Brighton, meteorologist at Spectrum News 1, and I'll be your MC this evening. Before we get into the reason why we are here, I'd like to take the time to thank the people who made this evening possible. I'd first like to thank the Italian Community Center and their amazing event coordinators for hosting us this evening. Second, we can applaud for that. Second, I'd like to thank our gold and platinum sponsors. Thank you to our gold sponsors, which include Her Wellness Institute, North Shore Center, Green Bay Packer Foundation, and Kugli Foundation. And our platinum sponsors, the Milwaukee Jewish Federation and City of Milwaukee. Thank you also to all the booths present during the vendor fair. The information and resources you provided this evening are vital for informing and supporting the importance of mental health. A special thank you to the 4 student ASL interpreters from the ASL Interpreting Program at UWM for interpreting and making this event accessible for as many people as possible. And finally, I'd personally like to thank everyone at the Friendship Circle of Wisconsin and RedGen for working countless hours to ensure tonight's event would go off without a hitch. Before we really get into our conversation regarding mental health, if you find any of the topics discussed this evening triggering or feel like you need professional support throughout the program, we have 2 licensed mental health professionals with us today from the North Shore Center to support you. Simply snap a photo of their hotline that you will see on the screens right next to me and text them if you need to talk. When the teen speakers are giving their speeches, the hotline will also be displayed on those screens. Please note that for anyone who received a bag at registration, the hotline information is also stapled directly to it for another point of reference. We also have the Her Wellness Institute here today to provide support if you need it. You can find all of their staff members wearing Her Wellness Institute branded yellow shirts. Before we get to our teen speakers, we have a few other special guests with us this evening. First up, I'd like to introduce County Executive David Crowley.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Oh, give yourselves a round of applause. It's good to see a full house. Yes. I do want to quickly point out we do have some other elected officials in the room. So if you are an elected official, please stand and please be recognized. Thank you. Awesome. So again, my name is David Crowley. I am the Milwaukee County Executive of Milwaukee County. And I'm really grateful to be invited to be joining you all this afternoon because we're here to talk about something important, something that's not just real, but something that affects more people than folks may think. But the question that we're here today is, what's one thing you wish people knew? And I've been thinking about this question a lot lately, especially as just last week we started to put up suicide prevention signs in our Milwaukee County parks. Many of you know that last year I lost one of my best friends, Jonathan Brostoff, to suicide last November. And some of you may have known him through the work that he did. But he was the type of person who made everyone feel welcome. He made people laugh. He showed people that they mattered. And so one thing that I wish Jonathan would have known is that there was another way out, that he mattered, that he was loved, that he wasn't alone. And I wish he could have known that he would have been able to reach out, not just to me, but his family, to the community that cares so much about him. And I wish he knew how much the world needed him to stay. And so to every young person in this room, I want to I want you to hear me very clearly. Your mental health may be a part of your journey, but it is not your identity. It does not define you. It does not limit your future. And it does not decide who you're going to become. And I wanted to say this about this particular generation, that you are probably more open and honest about mental health than the previous generations before you. And I think there are many adults who can attest to that. And I want you to know that that's extremely powerful. But I also know that you're dealing with pressure online, at school, or in your own lives that can feel overwhelming. So let me tell you something important. You are enough, exactly as you are. Asking for help is not a weakness. It is a courage. Talking to someone when you're struggling, that's strength. You don't have to pretend to be okay when you're not. You are here for a reason, and there is help for you. There are people who care about you, even on the days that you can't feel it. And no matter how heavy things may get, you belong in this world. And we want you to stay. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. And let's enjoy the conversation today.
Thank you, David, for sharing your story, talking about your friendship with Jonathan, and talking about the message of why we are here tonight to tell everyone that you truly matter. Now, if everyone could join me in welcoming our hosts for this evening, Levi Stein, President and CEO of the Friendship Circle of Wisconsin, with his wife, Leah, who acts as Chief Program Officer, along with Abe and Beverly Goldberg, co-founders of RedGen.
Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Before I get started, I really wanted to give a huge shout out to our event coordinator, Sophie Edelstein. Please come up. Thank you really for, come up. Thank you for we'll bring it to you, okay. Thank you for making today's event really so special. We couldn't have every detail from the booths to everything around it really made the world of a difference. Thank you so much. And we have some flowers for you, but we'll bring it down to you. I also want to give a big thank you to Brooke Brighton, our MC. We're grateful to have you guiding us this evening. Thank you. A big thank you to Lisa Marie, our Executive Director of RedGen. Thank you for your partnership and your support. A warm thank you to our Milwaukee County Executive, David Crowley, to the City of Milwaukee Alder people, the Milwaukee County Supervisors, representatives from the Milwaukee Police Department, and from Senator Tammy Baldwin's office, and any other elected officials that are here today. Thank you for coming. A special thank you to my favorite and most amazing mother-in-law, who flew in just for today's event. Thank you for coming. Thank you to our board of directors, to our special events committee, to all the volunteers who helped today, who helped supported all the booths and made today run smoothly. We appreciate you more than you know. And of course, to our 4 incredible teen speakers, thank you for your courage and for choosing to share your truth with all of us. And finally, thank you to all of you for being here tonight.
The Friendship Circle, a division of Lubavitch of Wisconsin, is an organization dedicated to creating community, belonging, and meaningful opportunities for people with disabilities and those experiencing mental health challenges. We run a cafe, a bakery, and an art studio that train and employ people with disabilities and really give them a space to grow, contribute, and shine. The desserts we had today, how good were those? A special thank you to Friendship Bakery and Friendship Cafe and support staff for making those delicious desserts. Tonight, we're highlighting our mental health division, You Matter, a program focused on peer support, empowerment, and breaking the stigma surrounding mental health through education, connection, and community. Through You Matter, we run teen support groups, parent support groups, and the well-known Wish You Knew Teen Mental Health podcast. And of course, we're so proud to host tonight's incredible event brought to life through the meaningful partnership with Red Gen. Thank you.
Every year, this event reminds me why our work matters so deeply. We're surrounded by hundreds of people who care about mental health, who believe in showing up for our teens, and who understand that sometimes the most powerful thing we can offer is simply to listen. My revered teacher, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, spoke often about what we do when we feel low, overwhelmed, or hopeless. He taught that we should turn our attention to three things: helping others, focusing on the future, and taking action. Because when we help someone else, when we look toward a better future, and when we take even a small step forward, we begin to lift ourselves as well. At the Friendship Circle, we've learned that one honest story can change another person's life. When a teen stands up here and shares their truth, they give someone else in this room the courage to speak up, or maybe even the strength to keep going. My wish is that you leave tonight feeling two things: hope and responsibility. Hope because you'll hear from teens who prove that healing is possible, and responsibility because every one of us has the power to notice, to ask, and to act when someone is struggling. So thank you for being a part of a community that refuses to let anyone feel alone. Together, we can save lives.
Really beautiful. Welcome. My name is Abe Goldberg, and this is my wife, Beverly. Thank you for being here and for supporting young people and their mental health issues. We are one of the Red Gen's co-founding families. Along with several other community members, we founded Red Gen after our daughter, Abby, passed away, died by suicide in 2013 at the age of 13. We believe deeply that by sharing our story and Abby's story, we could bring light to youth mental health and to help others know they're not alone. Research shows that storytelling has the power to heal, to connect, and to break the stigma. And today, these stories are a lifeline for our youth. They open the door to understanding, to asking for help, and to experiencing hope. On behalf of Beverly and myself and the entire Red Gen Board of Directors, we want to express our deep thanks to Leve and Leah Stein. Thank you so much for partnering with Red Gen and to bring light and awareness to youth mental health and well-being. Great things happen when two organizations align their missions and share their passion for strengthening the community. And most importantly today, we want to recognize and thank the brave students sharing their personal mental health journeys tonight: Jordan, Maya, Gabriella, and Claire. Your courage and vulnerability are extraordinary. You are not just sharing your stories, you are lighting the way for others who may feel alone. Your voices matter. They will resonate with all of us. I'd like to now introduce or turn the microphone over to my wife, Beverly.
Hello, everyone. My name is Beverly Goldberg, and I serve on the Red Gen Board of Directors, and I'm honored to share about Red Gen with you today. When creating Red Gen, we first focused on prevention, but after countless hours of a lot of research, we learned that really helping young people build resilient skills is one of the most effective ways to support mental health and mental well-being. Red Gen stands for Resilience Education for the Next Generation. Our mission is simple yet powerful: to improve youth mental health well-being and prevent crisis. Red Gen is a peer-to-peer, school-based model that empowers young people to support one another. We have over 30 Red Gen school chapters in Wisconsin, and we have one in Chicago. Each and every one of these is a beacon of hope, creating community where students can feel safe, welcomed, and heard. Today, we are joined by over 50 Red Gen peer leaders. To every peer leader and every advisor, thank you so much for all that you do to create a very caring and connected school community. I also want to express heartfelt gratitude to fellow Red Gen board members and for your unwavering support and many hours of volunteering. And Lisa Marie, I also have to say thank you as well. A lot of work that she has done to go into this event and work that she does every day for Red Gen. A few things that Abe and I want you to know as we begin. Every story shared is an opportunity to deepen our understanding and compassion for each other. Let us listen with open hearts and open minds. Today is not only about raising awareness, but it's about building community of all of you here in the room and truly championing mental health and well-being. Thank you for being here, and thank you so much for being a part of this very empowering event. Thank you.
And I really can't think of two organizations who have a better partnership and goal to bring tonight to life. And I'm really excited to hear everyone's stories for the rest of this evening. Our next speaker is a motivational hype man. Brooks Griffin is a passionate advocate for mental health awareness, resilience, and personal growth. Brooks empowers individuals and communities to prioritize emotional well-being and embrace vulnerability as a strength. He inspires people of all ages to recognize that seeking help is a sign of courage, not weakness, and that healing begins with honest conversations. Please help me welcome Brooks to the stage.
All right, so they said I was a hype man. So y'all gonna get hype with me? We can do a little bit better than that. Y'all gonna get hype with me today? We're gonna start this on a good foot. All right, everybody on your feet, everybody on your feet, everybody on your feet, everybody stand on your feet, everybody stand on your feet. My name is Brooks Griffin. Again, I'm proud to be here. 2 years ago, I was here to share my story, but I'm just excited that this event through Red Gen and the Friendship Circle has given the platform to those that have the true voice around what's going on as our teen speakers. So let's give our teen speakers another round of applause. We are here for them. Yeah. Look, if there's one thing that I wish that everybody knew here today is that your voice holds power. Your voice holds power. This is an event where we are giving acknowledgement. We're raising up youth voice because, again, voice has power. And I want to remind somebody today that mental health, I get it, it's real. Mental health is a struggle. And if mental health is real, they'll say the struggle is real. But even though the struggle is real, it does not mean that your voice cannot be used. A couple years ago, I had a good opportunity to go with Red Gen to some schools. And we created a chant with one of my mentors that helped me through my own mental health challenges. The chant was good, better, best. I shall not rest till my good is better and my better is best. That sounds kind of cool, isn't it? Kind of cool. But I got something special. Because now I'm back for one thing I wish you knew. We created a whole new chant just for today that's going to set the tone for our teen speakers. Are y'all going to help me out with this? You can do a little bit better. Are you going to help me out with it? All right, cool. So when I repeat it, when I say it, I want you all to repeat after me. Say, I will not quit. I will not fold. My mind is strong. And my heart is bold. Stronger today. Stronger tomorrow. My story is power. Not pain. See, when we do not pain, everybody got to do the not pain, all right? So let's start right there. So stronger today, stronger tomorrow. My story is power, not pain, not regret, and not sorrow. All right, y'all ready? Now, I know we just learned it. This is the first time you may be seeing me. This is the first time I'm seeing you all. But what I want you to do is to scream this from the top of your lungs. We want the Pfizer Forum to hear this. We want Milwaukee to hear this. But again, your voice has power. And we want to support our teen speakers with your voice, but to also let them know that your voice has power as well. Y'all ready? Are y'all ready? All right. I will not quit. I will not fold. My mind is strong, and my heart is bold. Stronger today, stronger tomorrow. My story is power, not pain, not regret, and not sorrow. All right, we're going to do it one more time. I think you all got it. All right? Let's do it all. We're going to do it all together? We got to do it all together. All right, here we go. I will not quit. I will not fold. My mind is strong, and my heart is bold. Stronger today, stronger tomorrow. My story is power, not pain, not regret, and not sorrow. All right, give yourself a round of applause as you take your seat.
And that is why Brooks is called a hype man. Woo, give him a round of applause. With all of that good energy now in the room, it's now time to talk about our 4 keynote teen speakers who are going to be sharing their personal mental health journeys. And they are strong, brave, powerful, vulnerable, and people that I really admire for being so open and honest here this evening. I do want to make a note that some of our teen speakers will be sharing vulnerable pictures. This takes an incredible amount of courage, and I want us to create a safe and supportive space as they share their stories. Now, everyone, please stand and give a big round of applause to show support for Jordan, Maya, Gabriella, and Claire.
What does it mean to be a strong man? Well, I'm sure your first thought was a man bench pressing 225 pounds. I'm here to discuss an idea that's been hidden in the shadows of today's society, a man's mental strength. For a long time, there's been a stigma that a man must be strong, stoic, and never show weakness. But the reality is that no matter how strong and stoic you may be, no one is immune from weakness. These men that fall under this stigma are not void of sadness, but so well trained in bottling up their feelings that they're almost incapable of feeling. Our society has conditioned the men of our world to suppress their emotions so that they can fit into the status quo of being a strong man. Because of this, men are unlikely to reach out for help when they know they need it, and instead let themselves emotionally implode. When you find your mental health deteriorating and don't share it with anyone, you can feel trapped in your own mind. And I know this from experience. All my life, I've had these same ideologies engraved in my mind. Don't show weakness. You're fine. You can take it. Throughout my life, mostly in my ongoing teenage years, I see snapshots of these perfect lives, trying to teach me that a true man shouldn't have any mental health problems and should instead live away from negative human emotions. This caused me to grow distant from my feelings, and I entered a state of emptiness, a mindset where all of my negative emotions were filtered into a tiny cup in my brain. But over time, that cup started to fill, and the surface tension started to break. Every time I was alone with my thoughts, my emotions were amplified. After over a year of living in this blank, empty state, I realized that what was going on was not healthy. Barely being able to cry, not feeling angry or sad after unfortunate events, and even failing to empathize with my friends when they are in a time of need are all side effects of me falling victim to the stigma. In my recovery process, I started small, by first stepping away from one of my toxic friendships. Even the simple act of getting out of a situation that you're uncomfortable with can cause some of those negative emotions to be soaked up. I moved slowly and made my journey into finally being able to express my emotions to those I trust. Once I opened up to the people I trusted and stopped hiding everything about my mental health, I felt some of these unhealthy emotions become lighter. The simple act of speaking what was on my mind and hearing myself let go of these negative emotions released some of the pressure that had been built up over the years. I'm lucky enough to have found most of my escape, but many people aren't that lucky. Studies by the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention and the Priority Group have shown that within the last few years, around 40% of men report never having talked about their mental health, and men die by suicide 3.8 times more than women. This is not because men have it worse than women. Everyone, men and women alike, have had struggles in their life. But my message here is that men are more afraid to reach out than women. All men as individuals are smart enough to know they need help, but our society is too stuck in its ideals to solve our problem as a whole. One thing I wish you knew is that the strongest men are not those who avoid their emotions, but those who embrace them. Thank you.
Growing up is part of self-discovery, but it's also a time when insecurities creep in. We start to notice our bodies, comparing ourselves to others, and often feeling like we can't compete. This is a universal experience, and unfortunately, I fell into this trap. Towards the end of my 7th grade year, I became more aware of my body. I started comparing myself to other girls, both in real life and online. Social media made this even worse. I wanted to be thinner with that classic toned six-pack look. I began exercising several times a week, but after a couple of months, I didn't see results. So I turned to dieting, specifically extreme dieting. I found a website recommending just 500 calories a day. For context, a healthy daily amount for someone my age at the time was 2,000 to 2,500 calories a day. But I didn't think about that. I thought, this will work. Within 2 weeks, I had lost 10 pounds. I remember stepping on the scale and seeing the numbers drop. My stomach hurt, my head was light, but all I could think about was, yes, this means I finally look good enough. At the time, I felt proud, but now I recognize that that kind of rapid weight loss is dangerous and unhealthy. But back then, I just wanted more. That's when the cycle began. Restrict, binge, feel guilty, restrict again. I remember waking up in the middle of the night feeling so hungry that I would make myself a big pot of pasta, eat the whole thing, hide the evidence, and find the pot a couple of days later all moldy. Still disgusted from that binge session, I would stop eating until the next one hit. By 8th grade, the cycle was ruining my life. I started therapy, but I wasn't ready to change. By 9th grade, it escalated. I learned about purging online and began doing that after binges to suppress all the guilt that I felt. I hid food, lied about eating, and my life revolved around controlling my body. Eventually, I shifted back to the complete opposite extreme. Exhausted by the constant weight fluctuation and body dysmorphia that came along with them, I stopped the binges and purges. Instead, I wanted to prove to myself that I could lose weight slowly through restriction. And so, that's what I did. Eventually, my family noticed I looked unwell. My mom gave me a choice: make a doctor's appointment or go to the ER. I refused both. However, the following week, after 5 days of eating nothing, I ended up in the hospital due to my heart rate and blood sugar being dangerously low. I thought I would be in and out quickly, but I was hospitalized for a week, put on a weight gain meal plan, and given a feeding tube because I refused to eat. That's when I first heard the diagnosis: anorexia. My immediate thought was, anorexia? That can't be me. I don't look anorexic. I had only been restricting for about 6 weeks before ending up in the hospital. And because of that mindset, I never felt thin enough to deserve help. I convinced myself that I didn't need medical intervention, but the reality was that I did. From there, I went into inpatient treatment. I fought it every step of the way. My days would typically go like this: wake up, get weighed, eat 6 times a day, do therapy, repeat. Some days, I drank lots of water and hid books in my nightgown just to make the number on the scale appear higher so that I could be discharged. Other days, I was in bed rest for over 24 hours due to my refusal of eating out of the fear of gaining weight. I constantly compared myself and my stories to others who I deemed were more severe than mine. I convinced myself that I wasn't sick enough and therefore naturally assumed that my struggles were insignificant. That is why I couldn't get out of my struggle with my eating disorder. And that's the lie eating disorders tells you. You're not sick enough, not thin enough, not deserving of help, and believing that lie kept me from living life. During this time, my grandfather passed away. At his funeral, I met a woman who had dealt with an eating disorder for 30 plus years. She had told me how it had stolen many aspects of her life. That conversation was a turning point. Although I had already come to the realization that I wanted to regain control, that made me realize I didn't want that to be my story. Recovery hasn't been perfect. I had setbacks, but I no longer allow my eating disorder to control me. I've gone back to school, started a job, and started living life again. What you see online isn't real. Photoshop, Botox, AI, they can make anyone look flawless. Fitness influencers and get abs in 2 weeks set impossible expectations, especially for young, impressionable girls. I chased that illusion and nearly lost my health and my life. I now recognize that losing 10 pounds in 2 weeks isn't an accomplishment. It's a red flag. Restriction isn't control. True strength is nourishing your body and caring for your mind, and refusing to let false images define your worth. One thing I wish you knew is, if you're sitting here thinking that your struggles aren't severe enough to deserve help, I want you to know that they are, and you are. You are important. You don't have to hit rock bottom to get better. Let go of the control that's hurting you. Life is much better without it. You're not alone.
Those are hard to follow. Mental health challenges are often invisible and hard for others to see. Unlike a broken arm or a broken leg, you can't just look at someone and know what's going on in their mind. You simply don't know. On the outside, everything might look fine, but inside can be broken. For me, I looked fine, but inside, I felt broken. My experience with mental health has been present most of my life, but it changed in November of 2023, specifically 11/11. It quite literally tore open mental health challenges for me. After tearing my ACL, I was taken on a journey with deteriorating mental health that I am proud to say I made it through. That's not to say I made it out unscathed. I don't see myself quite the same as I do after my injury. I see myself stronger, more aware of others, and more supportive. My sister, who is in this room today, was born with arthrogryposis, a disability that causes her legs not to bend and limits her mobility daily. My injury gave me a glimpse into what life is like for her on a regular basis, how movements that seem so normal to me are impossible for my sister. As an athlete, I've always had to work well with a team. The thing is, this concept never carried into my personal life. The moment I walked off a court or a field, I became completely closed off. I've been like this most of my life, a turtle in its shell. Since I was young, I kept to myself or to my journal, but rarely opened up to my family or even my friends. I did this during my mom's battle with breast cancer and my consistent confusion with my sister's disability. There was always this lingering feeling of being alone. I didn't want to burden anyone. I've realized that with mental health, you have your own team. Over time, I realized that everyone has a team surrounding them. Even if the lineup is one good friend or a few family members, there will always be at least one person in your boat to keep it from sinking. Motivation is crucial, something to strive to overcome your mental and physical health challenges to achieve. Before I knew how to multiply and divide, I knew how to win a point in tennis or score goals in a soccer game. Sports are part of who I am, and I never wanted to lose that part for good. So when that part was slipping away, I used it as a constant push to keep going, even when I thought the end goal was too far. There were times I thought I dug a hole so deep I never deserved to play my sport again. Your goals are never too far to reach, no matter how deep your hole may be. As someone who has been physically scoring goals since I was young, I've worked towards my own goals, both on and off the field, that have shaped my strength. As teenagers, many of us can agree that social media and doom scrolling has become such a routine. There's a TikTok audio I consider to be my favorite, though. It says, "You never know the silent battles people are fighting, even the people you think you are closest to. You'll never walk in my shoes, and I'll never walk in yours, and we shouldn't have to in order to empathize with each other." This is something I think about every day. No one knew about my panic attacks in school bathrooms, as I agonized over the thought of if I will ever stop being afraid of being re-injured. I was afraid of ever reliving the immense pain it caused me physically, mentally, and emotionally. No one knew about this because for a long time, I never opened up. The only way I opened up fully was to my journal, through mostly poetry writing. Late at night, when my thoughts were too overwhelming, I would pull out my journal and I would write. Here's one of them that opens the doors to what was really going on inside my head. I don't understand what is happening to me. I'm on my highest of highs, then lowest of lows. My reality all the time, but nobody knows. Nobody knows what's going on in my head. Thoughts follow me everywhere, even in bed. Sometimes I wish somehow the thoughts would just end, but as long as I'm alive, that option is dead. I thought no one would understand, like there was some invisible wall surrounding my mind and everyone else was on the outside. Some people would say you could step in their shoes to understand. It's that easy. It's not always that easy. Sometimes you won't understand, and oftentimes that isn't what a person struggling needs. They just need someone who can see they are struggling, someone who can empathize, listen, and channel their strength into the other. That's all it takes. Even if you yourself are struggling right now, just listening, empathizing, and channeling some of your strength into another will help you. Helping another person is the greatest reward. There are so many people out there trying to be strong. Oftentimes you don't realize, but there are people in this room, in front of you, beside you, behind you, right now, who are struggling at this very moment. Awareness is the first step. One thing I wish you knew is that life is not a straight line. Life isn't an elevator that you can decide when you go up or down. Life decides it for you. Like me, it could change with one simple off-balance movement. Something so normal to you that you'd never even imagine could change your life so drastically. Now, just because I'm standing up here today doesn't mean I have it all figured out. All I hope is that instead of others saying with sympathy, I wish I knew so I could have been there for you, I hope we can now say, I'm glad I knew so we overcame this together. So yes, mental health challenges can be invisible, but invisible doesn't mean impossible to heal. Weakness becomes strength. It just takes one person, one goal, and one voice to begin to heal. Thank you.
We all have one thing that we wish we could change about ourselves. Maybe a scar, a feature, a part of our body that we wish we could hide. For me, it was a birthmark that I had on my face since the day I was born. It was loud, bulky, and impossible to ignore. Not the kind of thing that made me feel special, more like something that made me feel unlucky. My birthmark was 3D in the middle of my face and drew the eyes of everyone I've ever met. Do you know the feeling when you're talking to someone and you can tell that they keep looking at your pimple? That was my life for 16 years. Over time, it didn't just affect how I looked. It changed how I saw myself. I started to believe I'd never be seen as beautiful, never feel confident, and never be good enough until it was gone. The idea of removing it came with this quiet obsession. One thing I wish you knew is that changing something on the outside doesn't always fix what's happening on the inside. For me, that's where everything got complicated. Having something that made me different drew the eyes of everyone I've met, no matter where I was. Walking through a grocery store is a pretty simple task, right? That wasn't my experience. There are moments where I would forget my birthmark was there. Adults would stare, kids would whisper, point, or ask questions out loud to their parents without realizing how loud they were being. I couldn't exist without being noticed, and not in the ways that I wanted to be noticed. I realized that I wasn't just being looked at, I was being judged, picked apart by people who didn't even know me, all because of a birthmark on my face that was out of my control. Because of severe bullying I faced, I started walking through the world assuming that people saw me as different before they even got to know me. And that mindset changes the way you carry yourself. I remember a classmate I had in 8th grade say, "I wish your birthmark was a little bit more to the left so that it could be exactly in the middle of your face." For some reason, this is one of the comments that I hold on to today, although I've heard thousands. I wish for a lot of things. I wish I was never born with the birthmark in the first place. I wish it was smaller. I wish I was normal. But that raises the question, what even is normal? Nobody has lived my life with my birthmark, so ignorance is expected. I'm sure my classmate didn't realize that this comment was ignorant, and I'm sure it didn't cross their mind that I've already had these thoughts and that making the comment would only be hurtful. But you would be surprised at how little people think before forming painful sentences. Anytime I talked to a boy in the hopes of a romantic relationship, guess what the deal breaker was? The birthmark. My insecurities crushed all types of relationships that I had or wanted to form. The only type of relationships that I allowed myself to kindle were through a screen. I could hide the worst parts of me and only present the best ones. When your confidence is that low, you start living a version of yourself that doesn't even feel human. I built online relationships with just a version of myself. It wasn't me and could never fully be me. The emotional toll and internal battles that I faced were some of the hardest of my life. For anyone who is familiar with the feeling of asking God why he made you the way that you are, or begging him to fix a part of you that is simply unfixable, I'm sorry. Growing up in a house where religion was relatively present, part of my life, I struggled with my relationship with God. Why would he make me this way? Why would he allow me to feel so much suffering? Because of all the painful comments people would say, I had been asking my mom to get it removed at 7 years old. I started a habit that I carried all throughout middle school. I started picking my birthmark off my face, digging my nails deeply into my skin to try and slowly pick it off. As you can imagine, this did not work. That moment caused a shift in me, from hurt to desperation. I became so ashamed of my appearance that I wanted a permanent change. Entering high school and growing up made me crave love and acceptance so badly that I finally made the decision to officially remove it my sophomore year. I was tired, angry, and desperate. In July of 2024, I had finally set a day that it would be removed. It was strange knowing that I would be giving up a part of me that I had for so long. Leading up to the day, I thought about all the things my loved ones told me upon making this decision. Claire, you're so beautiful with or without it, my mother told me. I specifically remember my best friend telling me that she thought I was special because of it. Not different, not weird, not ugly, special. Was I making a mistake? Am I going to regret this when I'm showing my children baby photos of me? It was finally the day. The doctor showed me photos of what my scar would look like after the surgery. My eyebrow was going to be in the middle of my face. Great, trading one insecurity for another. Perfect. I sat with the doctor telling her that I was unsure if I wanted to do this or not. In a moment of impulse, I stuck to the plan. I've always wanted this. I cried during the whole 20 to 30-minute surgery. How could a part of me I've had my whole life just be erased in 20 minutes? The days after the surgery were just as terrible. For 4 days, I had my mom change each Band-Aid and apply my wound treatments. I couldn't look in the mirror. What Claire was I going to see? I've never met this Claire. I didn't know her. I built up the courage on day 5. I expected far worse placements of my eyebrows, so I was pleasantly surprised I wasn't given a unibrow. Recovery was rough and long. The doctor told me that some parts of my forehead would never be able to be felt again. I had to massage the scar every night for 10 minutes to flatten it out. I couldn't leave the house without lathering SPF on my face, even in the winter. The more it healed, the more confident I was. I wanted to leave the house. I wanted to be seen in public. I wasn't scared anymore. But I couldn't help but feel like I lost something that made me special. I didn't know myself without my birthmark. I wasn't my birthmark, but I was me because of it. What was I now? I thought removing my birthmark would create a new identity for myself. I thought I would suddenly feel better about everything I was insecure about. I came to find out that I was still me, and that was both comforting and disappointing. The biggest change didn't come from a surgeon. It came later, through acceptance. I thought for a long time that if I fixed all the things people said were wrong with me, that I would finally be at peace. I always wonder how I would view myself if I had grown up with no judgment, no outside opinions, just me seeing myself for who I really was. Maybe then I would have seen beauty a lot sooner. But now, even after everything, I'm starting to. Beauty isn't about what you remove. It's about what you learn to love. Pure acceptance will never come from the people around you. It has to come from within. Loving yourself takes time, and I'm still learning every day how to be kind to myself. One thing I wish you knew is that you don't need to hit someone to leave a scar. Some of us are still bleeding from the things you don't remember saying. So please, be kind. And just as importantly, be kind to yourself. You are not made to be perfect. You are made to be whole, even the parts you once wished away. Thank you.
Thank you for being so vulnerable this evening. Your mental health journeys I know everyone in this room appreciates your openness. And I hope the stories you share this evening can help others in this room with their own mental health journeys. And in order to further facilitate the conversation regarding mental health, well, the 14 speakers are now on stage, but I'd like one other person to join us, Jenny Strom, Director of the North Shore. Oh, you're already on stage, never mind. So now what we're going to do is sort of a Q&A. For those of you in the audience who have questions for our teen speakers, raise your hand and I'll come through along with Levy to let you ask those questions. But I do have some guidelines first. So first, be respectful. Ask courteous questions, and if a member on the panel does not want to answer a question, they do not have to. Be patient. Myself and Levy will try to get to as many people in the room to ask their questions. And also, if you have a specific question to one of our teen speakers, please address them. Or if it's just an open-ended question, you could say anyone can ask or answer this question. So now that we know the guidelines, let's get started. I think Levy will find a first person. Please raise your hand if you have a question.
Hi, so this is for Gabriella. I don't know if this is too personal of a question, but how did you break your ACL or tear it or what? Yeah.
Yeah, so I remember tearing it at a college showcase tournament for soccer. And in soccer, you have to stay really balanced and make sure your hips are aligned correctly so you don't go on those off balance movements. And I was trying to cross it into my teammate, and it actually hit the goalpost, which made me really mad because we would have won the game. But I landed completely on my right leg, and my knee went one way, and the rest of my weight went the other. So it kind of just tore everything. And the ACL is what keeps your knees, one part of your knee to the rest to the bottom. So that part just snapped. So not too fun.
Yes. Please raise your hand if you have any other. Oh, we have a lot more. Okay.
This question is for Claire. What are some methods that you use in order to love yourself more every day?
So I journal, and then I also write positive affirmations and put them on my wall. Like around my door, I put like a bunch of different like Post-it notes, and I write positive affirmations or like draw little images, and it like looks cute, but then it's also like, oh, like I love myself. Wow. So whenever I forget, I can just like look at it when I wake up. And then I also am a part of my Red Gen chapter. So talking to other people about it just helps everyone just feel more connected and also with yourself. So yeah.
This question is for Maya. What did you do? Like, how did you tell yourself, like, how you felt after overcoming that idea that you're not worth, like your body's not worth, yourself is not worth, like after your treatment?
So how did you tell yourself that you were worth it after your treatment?
Just to confirm the question, is it like to tell like how I told myself I'm worth it after my? How did I know that I needed to get help? Oh, how did I know that I deserve treatment? No, that's not the question.
Is after everything you went through, what did you do to help yourself to not think of those thoughts that you were not worth it?
So like not to relapse and
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question. So I mean I see a therapist obviously to like if I ever I mean a lot of the reasons why I had my eating disorder was out of control. Like anytime I wanted control of a situation, I would go to these unhealthy habits and I would, you know, restrict, binge, whatever, do whatever to control something. And with therapy, with friends around me, and also just honestly being scared. Like when I was first diagnosed with anorexia, they were like, oh, you know, if you keep this up, you're gonna have heart failure and get osteoporosis. And I was like, so actually I don't want that. So yeah, so it really kept me motivated to keep going through my recovery.
This is for whoever wants to answer it, I guess. First of all, thank you to all of you for sharing your stories. It's really courageous and amazing, and makes me really proud as a mom to witness this. But I guess, what is one thing that an adult, either a parent or a guiding adult in your life, has said or helped you through this journey with?
So there's nothing like, with my recovery process, it was never any one thing that one person said or any one thing that one person did, but it was just the constant support from people and the constant wanting to hear from me and to hear what I have to say that really benefited me the most. Like, I can never think of one specific quote that really swapped my mindset, because it was a slow journey. Like, this is something that developed over years and years, and that took me like, and I'm still working through it right now, but the majority of it was worked through within a year. So it was never one immediate switch of mindsets. It was just like constant support from people around me that really helped me to kind of develop my emotional self.
Gabriella's going to answer. Oh, is this okay? We're on.
My parents have always been there for me throughout all of the therapy treatments that I have had to go through with my knee. But there is one specific thing that I remember from another adult that is a counselor at a camp that I am privileged to go to. It's for children that have had a parent with cancer or are currently going through it. And this adult told me that even when you feel like you don't belong somewhere or you're alone, from the moment you step on this earth, you have always been a part of something. And whether or not you remember or think you deserve to be a part of that thing, you are always a part of something. And for me, that camp was a source of joy at night when I would be thinking too much. I would always go back to that camp and that adult specifically. And I think that it's so important to know that you are always a part of something, whether or not your mind is tricking you into believing that you don't deserve to be.
This question is for Maya. I was just wondering, did you have like peer support as well? Like, friends that encouraged you, that were there for you through your process of your recovery?
I'm very happy that you asked that question. Yes, I have great friends. Like, they're in the audience right now, and they they were there for me for everything. I mean, they visited me in the hospital. They constantly called me, even though they took my phone away, I couldn't answer. They brought me stuff. They were always open to talk, and it was just, I really appreciated them, and I don't think I tell them that enough, so thank you guys. Yeah.
Hi, so I just want to say thank you to all of you for sharing. And also, Gabriella, I think you're talking about Camp Kesem. I was a counselor at Kesem. Highly recommend you also becoming one, because I think your maturity and your experience would be really helpful for those kids. But I have a question that's just kind of generally for any of you that would want to answer. But what was the most helpful for you in kind of going through your mental health journeys and continuing now to stay strong in your mental health?
Jordan is the default, so thank you.
So this one is going to be a little bit similar to my last answer to the question, but like what was really the most helpful was just having people around me that really asked questions, where if I was never like, if the topic was never brought up, I would never bring up anything about how I felt, about how my day went. But right now I have so many people that will ask like everything that went on in my day, and it's really just inspired me to speak more about like what I might be feeling, more about like how my day could have went, like the good and the bad. So I just think in general, asking questions, asking how people are, asking how their day went, just asking general questions like that, it can really help someone to like open up and to get out of their shell so that they can feel more comfortable sharing in general, not just to you, but to everyone around them.
I have a question for Maya. I can relate to what you are. I have a disability with Down syndrome, and I'm new to this program, and maybe Maya can help me to say that I have a therapist too, who can talk to. My parents are with me, next to me, and I just want to have like I have a lot of experiences with Maya about how she strategized herself, and she is one of my heroes.
Thank you. Final question.
Thank you, all four of you, for sharing your story. You've shown emotional maturity more than I think even friends my age, 20 years older than you guys have ever shown. So thank you. This one's more for Jenny Storm. What would you say, like, nowadays is like the biggest improvement in like the kids that you're dealing with now versus say even like 10 years ago? Like what's been like the biggest like support system or like the thing that really has been beneficial for the kids that you've dealt with?
I would say Red Gen and You Matter programs, right? Like bringing youth together to talk about important issues is pretty profound. You know, all of these kids talked so eloquently about their process of getting to know that they're not alone, right? That there's other people struggling. You may not see it as they all highlighted because it can be very invisible, but they're talking about it. They're talking with their peers. So I think a lot of us in mental health, this is the most compassionate generation we've ever had, which is amazing. And so with it, when they get together and they share their voices and they support one another, we see amazing things happen just like this evening.
Thank you to Jenny and our 4 teen speakers for answering those questions. You can take your seats, but thank you for being open this evening and sharing your stories. Okay, now who is ready to have a little bit of fun? Okay, I like the energy over here. Okay, let's try that again. Who is ready to have a little bit of fun? There we go. It's time to announce our raffle winners. And before I pull the names of the winners, I would like to thank our booths today for generously donating these prizes. So how this will work, I will draw a name from these boxes. And if I say your name, please come to the stage to claim your beautiful prizes, which include a variety of goodies from the booths, including swag, gift cards, and vouchers. So our first prize, let's get a drum roll. Our first prize is Eva Casson, please come to the stage. And I broke this box, so sorry about that. The next one is, drum roll, Debbie Orman. Debbie Orman, please come to the stage. Love it. Our next prize winner is Tori Castle. Okay, next up we have. Well, it says Dash Bell B. Carolyn Bell B. Yeah, we got her. Okay, we have 3 more. Okay, next one is Angel Davenport. Angel, please come to the stage. 2 more. Next, we have Gage Terrell. Gage Terrell. Okay, let's bring the drum roll back for our last raffle prize winner of the night. And it goes to Adea Zabaroff. Congratulations to all of our raffle prize winners, and thank you for coming to the stage. So before we wrap up this evening's event, I'd like to draw your attention to the screens. This event would not be possible without the generous support of the Friendship Circle of Wisconsin and Red Gen. If you would like to show your support toward these 2 wonderful organizations, scan the QR code that you see on the screens to donate. And if you'd like to stay up to date with what these organizations are doing, feel free to follow them on social media. You can find their social media handles in the brochures. Before we conclude this evening's program, can I have our booth hosts go back to your respective booths right now? Our booths from the vendor fairs will be sticking around for a few extra minutes once everything wraps up, in case you wanted to go back to a certain booth and ask any additional questions. Thank you all for joining us in on the conversation regarding mental health. Remember that you are not alone, and you have the resources and the people here to support you in every step of your journey. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening and get home safely.